Welcome to our exploration of Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet. In this video, we'll dive into Cayce's most discussed prophecies, particularly those concerning dramatic Earth changes and their relevance to today's environmental and geological challenges. Known for his trance-like readings, Cayce made predictions about the sinking of cities, rising seas, earthquakes, and even the emergence of new landmasses. While many of his predictions have yet to come to pass, his warnings about the changing landscape of the United States continue to resonate as modern issues like climate change, seismic activity, and coastal erosion intensify. Let's see how Cayce's visions align with the world we live in today. Edgar Cayce's visions of dramatic Earth changes included major transformations across the United States, with rising waters and geological shifts leading to the partial or complete submersion of various regions. While many interpret his predictions symbolically, others see them as potential warnings of climate change, tectonic activity, and shifting land masses. Cayce predicted that large portions of the East Coast, including New York, Virginia Beach, and the Carolinas, could be at risk of submersion. He attributed these changes to a combination of rising sea levels and geological activity. Today, with the acceleration of climate change, his warnings seem increasingly relevant, as rising ocean levels threaten coastal cities with frequent flooding, storm surges, and erosion. Areas such as Miami and New York City are already implementing flood control measures to combat the encroaching waters. One of Cayce's most dramatic predictions involved the West Coast, particularly California. He envisioned significant portions of the state breaking off and sinking into the Pacific Ocean. While some interpret this as an apocalyptic scenario, others believe it could symbolize the state's vulnerability to earthquakes and shifting tectonic plates along the San Andreas Fault. Modern geological studies confirm that California is at high risk of major seismic activity, which could cause massive destruction and coastal reshaping. Cayce also suggested that the Great Lakes region could experience severe flooding, affecting areas far from the coasts. While this might seem improbable, recent climate models indicate that increased rainfall, melting polar ice, and shifting waterways could contribute to inland flooding, altering the region's landscape. Whether taken as literal prophecies or symbolic warnings, Cayce's visions highlight the need for climate resilience, disaster preparedness, and sustainable environmental practices to mitigate potential catastrophes. Edgar Cayce foresaw a period of drastic Earth changes that he suggested would unfold between 1958 and 1998. While these specific dates have passed, many believe his visions still hold relevance, potentially forewarning of events yet to come. His prophecies included axial shifts, seismic upheavals, and dramatic transformations to the U.S. landscape, including the expansion of the Mississippi River. Cayce spoke of a potential pole shift in which the Earth's axis would undergo changes, triggering extreme weather, earthquakes, and geological instability. Some scientists have explored the possibility of minor shifts in the Earth's tilt influencing climate patterns, while others speculate that geomagnetic reversals where the Earth's magnetic poles swap places could cause disruptions. He also predicted intense seismic activity, leading to the destruction of cities and the reshaping of coastlines. Given today's increasing number of earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions, many see parallels between Cayce's prophecies and ongoing natural disasters. Cayce warned that rising sea levels would submerge coastal regions, possibly due to natural or cosmic influences. Today, climate change-driven sea level rise is a documented reality, with coastal cities like Miami, New Orleans, and parts of New York facing frequent flooding. Whether caused by shifting land masses or melting polar ice, Cayce's vision of encroaching waters seems eerily prescient. One of Cayce's most striking predictions was the dramatic expansion of the Mississippi River, effectively dividing the U.S. into two separate land masses. He envisioned catastrophic earthquakes and flooding widening the river, creating an inland sea. Water from the Gulf of Mexico would surge northward, permanently altering the geography of the Midwest. Additionally, he foresaw the Great Lakes region undergoing major shifts, with some areas becoming uninhabitable. If true, such an event would devastate cities and disrupt trade, infrastructure, and agriculture across North America. While Cayce's timeline may not have aligned with historical events, his predictions of climate-driven changes, seismic disruptions, and rising waters continue to fuel discussions about the future of Earth's geography and humanity's role in shaping it. In addition to predicting the sinking of parts of the United States, Edgar Cayce foresaw the emergence of new landmasses from the ocean. He suggested that remnants of Atlantis or other lost civilizations might rise again, reshaping the Earth's geography. Cayce believed that some of these new lands could appear in the Caribbean and the Pacific Ocean, possibly due to underwater seismic activity. His readings hinted at the reappearance of ancient lands, which aligns with modern discoveries of submerged structures and land formations beneath the ocean. He also suggested that volcanic activity could play a key role in this transformation. With recent increases in undersea volcanic eruptions and island formation, such as the emergence of new islands near Tonga and Japan, some see Cayce's predictions as a glimpse into the Earth's ongoing geological evolution. Whether symbolic or literal, his visions continue to spark curiosity about the planet's shifting landscape. While Edgar Cayce's prophecies are often dismissed as pseudoscience, modern research in geology, climate science, and oceanography reveals some intriguing parallels. His visions of rising sea levels, seismic activity, pole shifts, and Midwest flooding reflect real-world trends observed today. Cayce warned of coastal regions sinking beneath the ocean, and today, climate change-driven sea level rise is an undeniable reality. Global sea levels have risen by over 8 inches 20 centimeters since 1880, with cities like Miami, New York, and New Orleans experiencing frequent flooding. Some small island nations are already disappearing, lending weight to Cayce's prediction that parts of the world's coastlines could eventually be submerged. Cayce foresaw major earthquakes reshaping the West Coast, even suggesting that parts of California could break off into the Pacific. While modern geologists consider a complete break-off unlikely, California remains a seismic hotspot due to the San Andreas Fault. The 1906 San Francisco earthquake and more recent quakes, like the 1994 Northridge and 2019 Ridgecrest earthquakes, highlight the ongoing seismic threats in the region. Additionally, undersea earthquakes have triggered devastating tsunamis, reinforcing concerns about the unpredictable power of geological forces. Cayce predicted shifts in the Earth's axis, which scientists once dismissed as improbable. However, studies show that the Earth's magnetic poles have been shifting over time. The North Magnetic Pole has moved significantly in recent decades, affecting navigation systems and climate patterns. While a catastrophic pole shift is unlikely, gradual changes could still impact weather and geological stability. Cayce envisioned the Mississippi River expanding, creating an inland sea. While this hasn't happened to the extent he described, record-breaking floods have occurred in recent decades. Events like the Great Flood of 1993 and Midwest flooding in 2019 have devastated communities, causing billions in damages and reinforcing concerns about changing weather patterns. Though Cayce's predictions remain speculative, modern science continues to uncover phenomena that align with his visions, leaving room for interpretation and debate about the future of Earth's evolving landscape. While Edgar Cayce's most extreme predictions have not fully materialized, certain environmental events suggest that his warnings were not entirely unfounded. Modern climate and geological changes mirror some of the concerns he raised about rising waters, seismic activity, and shifting landscapes. Cayce warned of coastal cities becoming increasingly vulnerable to water-related disasters. Today, places like Miami and New York face escalating threats from hurricanes, storm surges, and rising sea levels. Superstorms like Hurricane Sandy 2012 and Hurricane Ian 2022 have caused billions in damages, displacing thousands and reshaping coastlines. Coastal erosion is also accelerating, forcing communities to rethink infrastructure and flood defense strategies. California remains one of the most seismically active regions on Earth. While Cayce's vision of parts of the state sinking into the Pacific has not happened, scientists continue to warn about the inevitable Big One, a massive earthquake that could devastate the region. The San Andreas Fault, which runs through much of California, remains under constant scrutiny due to its potential for catastrophic movement. Cayce's predictions of rising sea levels align with today's rapid ice melt in Antarctica and the Arctic. The Greenland ice sheet and Antarctic glaciers are melting at unprecedented rates, contributing to global sea level rise and increasing the risk of flooding in low-lying regions. Scientists warn that continued ice loss could result in significant coastal submersion, echoing some of Cayce's most concerning forecasts. While some of his prophecies remain speculative, ongoing environmental changes suggest that Cayce's warnings about Earth's instability and climate shifts deserve attention. Edgar Cayce's prophecies regarding Earth changes remain a topic of fascination and debate. While many of his predictions have not occurred exactly as he described, modern climate science and geological studies suggest that some of his visions may have been symbolic or misinterpreted rather than entirely inaccurate. Whether one views his predictions as mystical insights or speculative warnings, the growing concerns over climate change, earthquakes, and sea level rise indicate that humanity should remain vigilant in preparing for future Earth changes. Thank you for watching. We hope this video gave you a new perspective on Edgar Cayce's prophecies and their potential connections to current environmental changes. Whether you view Cayce's predictions as mystical insights or speculative warnings, there's no denying the pressing need for awareness and action as we face climate challenges, geological instability, and shifting landscapes. Stay tuned for more discussions, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more thought-provoking content.